Football is back, ladies and gentlemen, which now means it's time to get your team's football shirt. But I'm not trying to pay £120 for a football shirt. I'm just saying. But I have found the solution for myself and for you, the lovely audience of the Don Hussam channel, with your own coupon promo code. And this is the solution, ladies and gentlemen. All you've got to do is just go to okjersey.com. As you guys can see, all the options are there. Of course, I'm a Liverpool fan, you guys already know. And then this is the shirt. Look how amazing it looks. I'm just going to go pick my size. And then after that, I'm going to choose the Premier League patch. And listen, I'm too old to be putting any player names on the back, so I'm just going to get it as it is. I'm going to click add to cart, view cart. And this is the same thing that you guys do on any website. You proceed to checkout, you fill in all your information. And then after that, coupon code Hussam. When you click this coupon code, you get a 8% discount. Enjoy shopping, guys. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Apologies for being late. It's completely my fault. No one else's fault. All the boys were here on time, so I apologize for that. But we're here anyway. Big up to everyone locked in. Make sure you guys are liking and subscribing, please. We out here. There is a lot for us to unpack. There's a lot for us to discuss. There is Slot versus Hughes and Edwards. There's so much shit going on at Liverpool Football Club. And we have set up a crisis meeting. So today, it's not a big panel. It's just us four to discuss everything. We're going to be discussing the whole Guehi situation. In the words of Mike Das, always give him credit, it's Tuesday and Liverpool still suck. He is absolutely correct. Liverpool still suck, ladies and gentlemen. Shit ain't changed. Regardless, 200 people are already in the building. Make sure you guys are liking and make sure you guys are subscribing. I'm going to let Stoic J start us off. Jerry James, what topic you first want to start with? I'll let you decide and then we'll go with it.
We might as well get the latter one out the way first about Liverpool just being shit. Because this is just we've repeated this so often now. It's a bit tiring. I think Hussam's tired of it. I know Mike's tired of it. Ram, I'm not sure where he stands yet.
What the hell?
He's not tired yet. I don't know. You might still have some hope. I don't know. But yeah, it's just it's been like this for a while now, man. I'm struggling to see where do we go from it from a content perspective. I don't really know where to start. It's like a history lesson. Do we go back and speak about the Brentford game? Do we go back to look at how it was in pre-season? Do we go back to back end of last season when people wanted to ignore it? I don't know where we go. It's terrible. And I think the biggest problem is I just for me at this point is I don't see any changes coming at all. I don't expect to see any signings. I don't expect to see any management, any changing of the manager. So far as Liverpool can kind of or thereabouts for the Champions League positions, which is scary for me. And yeah, it is what it is. That's where I'm at with Liverpool at this point. It's just acceptance now. I just let the feelings go pass through me, and that's it. And I just don't carry it in. If Liverpool do well, great. If they don't, who cares? Because ultimately, it is what it is. There's nothing we can do to change it at this point. It's too late. It's too late. FSG aren't going to make any rash. They're not going to be bold. They're not going to make the decision that we're all expecting, or 90% of the fan base are expecting or hoping that will happen. And for me, that's the biggest indictment of the club, to be fair. Do you know what I mean? Is that when things go wrong, I said this, when we were speaking like the transfers, and I didn't expect it to go this bad, but I said, if the transfers don't work out and the players aren't good enough, are FSG going to go back in? Are we really going to see, this new look FSG that can just spend and do this and be bold? And I don't know, I would have expected January 1st to the centre-back lined up already. The centre-back through the door. It didn't happen. There's no real links with any players, no real links with any centre-backs. The ones we're linked with, they're seemingly going to City. That's a Guehi and Semenyo, which obviously we'll touch base on. So yeah, I don't really know where to go from this point. I accept it for what it is, and that's it.
We can start with the whole Slot versus Edwards and Hughes thing. Are you guys aware of what happened?
Yeah. There's a couple there have been murmurings about, but then now it's
let Ram. I feel like he has the most journalistic voice out of all of us. So Ram, what? Just tell the people first what's the situation, and then after that we'll unpack it.
So from what I know, from what I've been told and what I've been kept up to date with, the first sort of rumblings that the first sort of fallout that's happened was in regards to the Semenyo stuff, because Hughes did a lot of the groundwork for Semenyo, spoke to the guy, and Semenyo has talked highly about Liverpool, said he would move there happily if they get the job done. However, there were one person that vetoed the signing was Arne Slot, which obviously goes against what the idea of Liverpool was, which was the board will be in charge of signings, the data guys will do their jobs, and they'll do what's best for Liverpool instead of the manager vetoing any sort of thing that comes out. And I think they had a little falling out from there. The one thing that's really driven the board over the edge, with specifically Hughes, is Rio Ngumoha. So I think the plan before the start of the season was, look, we won't get like a Malik Fofana. We'll keep Rio, and we make sure that we develop him because we think this guy could be a proper starlet for the next like decade or so. And the fact that Rio isn't seeing any minutes, hasn't started. The only game that he started was Carabao Cup game against Crystal Palace, and only seeing like 5 minutes here and there. I think overall total of minutes he's played this season is around about 105, which is mad for a player that's expected to be the backup, which the board would be the backup, and he's not being used as a backup. So that's where things are starting to get a lot more crazier at the club. The fact that the board have a certain vision about the club, but the manager doesn't share that same vision with them. And if that happens, usually one thing happens from there, and that's usually what happens.
Jerry, there's hope.
You know how it is. If you don't share the same vision at the board, the board usually wins and the manager goes.
I hear that, but ultimately, this is what I'd want to know first. Is that something that Slot agreed to, or is that what the board tried to tell him to do?
So usually with transfers, right? From what I've learned from the last decade or so, when Klopp was here and so on and so forth, they come to a decision, they come to an agreement. I think the Semenyo stuff was, we could see that there's a left wing. We need a left winger, like we need somebody else on top of that, whether it be left or right. He's available. He's given us the go ahead to get him. We've done all the groundwork. Let's go and get him. And the manager was straight up no.
But why did he say no? But that's what I'm trying to understand.
That we don't know. That I don't know. I don't know why. It could be he doesn't see him.
Yeah,
in the team.
But my problem is on that, right? Is it's easy to say, right, that Rio and Semenyo, I think that's fair to say, they're different profiles of player, isn't it? If you had to look at them, even if they were both the same age and, do you know what I mean, at the top of their level, in terms of profile, Rio's a kind of creative 1v1 type of winger. Semenyo's probably a bit more close to Gakpo in terms of it's going to be a bit more direct. Can you get some goals? It's about his end product a bit more, right? Then if he doesn't want Semenyo, why is he not playing Rio? Or did he not agree to play Rio and the club forced him to play Rio?
That's the big question. Like, the whole point of us not getting a winger in summer was because we have this great young player in Rio. You saw how he played at pre-season. He was so dynamic when he came on, so incredible. Like his dribbling, his willingness to take on his man. Like he's old school, which is the main thing. And then
the thing that I don't understand, as much as I don't like, I said on the Civil War video, I don't even like to listen to Slot press conferences because all managers waffle. And to be fair, I stick by that to a certain extent. Like, I do believe a lot of managers do waffle in press conferences. He did like explicitly say that our backup striker is Federico Chiesa. The thing that I don't understand is, even if you want to start Gakpo, that's fine. But why don't you start Chiesa up top and Gakpo on the left? Since he's the backup striker. Like, that's one thing that I just never really understood. Like, a lot of the stuff that he says doesn't really match his behavior. That's one of the things that just...
It's just what he's wasting some of these players. Like, we know Gakpo, we've seen him play at strike under Klopp. it wasn't really the best. That's why we kind of preferred Luis Diaz. If there was a makeshift striker, it would be Luis Diaz over Gakpo. And then you play Chiesa, who, in my opinion, like he played right wing for Italy, but this was pre-ACL injury. Now, without the ACL, he doesn't have that explosiveness anymore to play as a right winger. So it's just not going to work. He's so comfortable on that left-hand side or playing next to a target man striker. But yet we play him on the right and sort of waste him. And then that's more of Slot's idea of, look, I start the guy, he's not playing well. What do you want me to do? It's like, no, you're playing him in a way where you're not getting the best out of him. That's the issue. That's the issue. Like when he comes on, he makes an impact because he plays in a position that is best suited for him. When he starts, you play him in such an awkward position, you're not getting the best out of him. So why are you surprised? Why are you surprised that he's not performing and putting in good performances if he's not playing in his right position? That's where I'm a bit annoyed about the whole Federico Chiesa thing. Like it's getting to a point where at some point I have a feeling he's going to get sold this January transfer window. So yeah.
Well, for me, the biggest problem, based on what you're saying, then is, which is I don't know, it's a bit more diabolical, is the fact that, you know, I was under the impression that these players were players that Slot wanted. From what we're seeing, right? When you look at Chiesa, when you look at
Chiesa was never.
But then you look at the situations with Rio, you look at all the other players, right? You speak about why are they not playing? Why is Frimpong not playing that right back? Why is he not playing? Why is all these types of things you start to think about, and you're like, hold on, are these the players that are just forced upon the manager and he didn't want them? Albeit they're good players, but maybe they're not the players that Slot wanted, and he's going and saving face and protecting the board, not protecting the board, but having to make do with the players that he's got, because it doesn't make sense to me why Chiesa's one, he doesn't want to play him. Rio's emergence there, he doesn't want to play him, but then we don't sign a left winger. They try and get him Semenyo, but he doesn't want Semenyo. I obviously, again, I'm not aware of this stuff. I've been busy. So what is there another left winger that you wanted instead, or did you just didn't want anyone? I'm confused.
That's the question.
Guys, I have a surprise for everyone, but I'll only do it when we get to 100 likes, because we're 5 likes away. I have a surprise guest in the background that even Ram, Jerry, and Mike don't know about. So I want you all to close the live.
I know who it is.
Who?
I have a feeling it's a certain Scouser that we know.
Who?
It's your son, bro. It's your son. Am I right?
Football Manager 26, back-to-back champion.
They're saying
Football Manager
Little's
2026, back-to-back champion.
Let's get to 100 likes, guys, and I will announce.
He took Leicester to the Champions League in Foot Manager 2026.
Anyway, guys.
Am I right?
Hi, Tom.
Hey,
how are you?
What did I say?
Hello.
Hey, you can't.
What shirt is that, though?
I don't know. It's like some Taiwanese Thailand teams one. I got it in like some
fair. Random club, I hear it. Big up to you, Tom. Big up. All the links are in the description, by the way, chat. So make sure you guys are subscribing. Thomas Little is joining us, guys. So you have a massive celebrity on today. Let's get the likes up, please. Get 100 likes ASAP and subscribe to the channel. So just Tom, we'll get your thoughts in a bit, but Mike's been awfully quiet. Mike, don't you think this is the thing that will create that hope, basically, that Slot leaves, essentially the beef with Hughes and Edwards? Because it only ends one way, as we saw at Chelsea twice.
I mean, listen, I've accepted death. It is what it is. I'm dead. As a Liverpool fan, I'm not alive. I'm in limbo, and every chance that I get, I'm trying whatever psychedelic I can get my hands on, because I might as well enjoy the time I have left, because I know that my death is imminent. But when it comes to what's going on at the club, who gives a fuck? Like, genuinely, who cares? Semenyo, bro. Semenyo ain't gonna do fucking shit. I've had 5 different left wingers, and I've had the same exact outcome. No support, isolated, can't beat his man, 2v1, only option cut it and shoot. I've seen 5 different guys play on the right wing. Guess what? No support, 2v1, cut in, shoot. Midfield doesn't support wide areas. Wide areas don't support the midfield. The striker is always completely isolated, and there's 3 people at the penalty box whenever we have the ball out wide. We don't have a midfield that stays in midfield. I don't have any player who's controlling any portion of my game. I'm trying to use both of my center backs as 2 10s. I have no consistent build-up structure. I have no identity because my identity isn't strength. It's not pace. It's not technical ability. It's not finishing. It's not transition. So again, we are completely in limbo. So there is no solution. I mean, hopefully, Richard Hughes and Arne Slot fall out so that Arne Slot get the fuck out of here. But this guy is the most arrogant, egotistical piece of shit I've ever seen in my entire life coach a football club on the island of the United Kingdom. It is absolutely insane. I mean, he sat there after that game and said, I thought that we controlled the first half. Genuinely, bro, genuinely, I would just shove your head up your own fucking ass. You are a bald fucking fraud, a flaccid dickhead. Fuck him. He's an absolute idiot. He tried to tell me that we controlled any portion of that game. Are you out of your fucking mind? You consider control having one opportunity from outside the box in a half of football when you went down 1-0? That's control? You think that control is moving the ball laterally for 45 fucking minutes without going north to south once? Like, nothing he says makes sense. Every time he speaks, there is a category, a plethora of excuses that he then tries to pander off by saying, but it's not a fucking excuse. That doesn't make any sense. To me, that is the hallmark of someone who refuses to accept accountability or responsibility in any way, shape, or form. And I get it. He's not supposed to go up here and say, we suck. But at a certain point, you should accept the fact that what you're doing isn't working. And the actions do not prove that you believe that. Because we haven't seen any changes. And even when we do kind of change, we play the same way. If you put 5 midfielders on the field, guess what? You're still giving the ball to whoever's out wide on the left, and you're still isolating him. We're just changing the number on the back of the shirt. So when it comes to these transfers, I don't think it matters. Who gives a shit? If we could buy 10 players in January, we could spend £2 billion this January. It won't make a difference because we won't change the way that we play, and we won't change the way that we play because Slot is a fucking dickhead. So, you know, whatever we got to do to get him out of this club, by all means, keep fucking bitching and moaning. Keep not using Chiesa. Keep not using Rio Ngumoha. Keep not using this guy. Keep not using that guy. I don't care because I pray we get fucking walloped on Thursday and this all just ends. 2 days. I'm hoping that I only have 48 more hours. Give me a 7-0 away to Arsenal and get the fuck out of my club. Simple.
Don't give me that.
And then
don't give me that. I've got to deal with Arsenal fans for the rest of the week, rest of the month, rest of the year.
At this point, I will take that heat for 48 hours. At this point, you know, I'll deal with Arsenal fans, you know, going nuclear for a fucking weekend because the long term.
You think it'd be just a weekend? You think it'd be just a weekend? We've never let the Sheffield against United go.
Listen, all I'm saying is that it doesn't matter what they do because I don't think that they're going to win the league. And if they don't win the league, ain't no one going to say shit about what Arsenal did this season.
You want to know something, Leighton? You are correct. We have changed completely from one extreme too open to the other, which is no attacking threat. But isn't it on the manager to find the correct balance between defending and attacking, which I think has been completely lost in this formula? Why is it that we're either subjected to dead, boring shit football or like, you know, here's the thing, yeah? Mike, Jerry, Ram, and Tom. This is them speaking about Liverpool a month and a half ago. We got no midfield. There's no one in midfield. The wingers aren't tracking back. There's so much spaces for teams to counterattack us. We're playing too much gung-ho football. This is them now. We have all the players in midfield. We got no width. We got no creativity. There is no triangles going forward. What does it have to be? Either we park the bus and we play absolutely dreadful shit football, or we go so much gung-ho that we leave spaces in behind. What happened to just being a little bit balanced?
We don't park the bus, Hussam.
Where you can attack. No, we do. But here's the sad part. Us parking the bus results in a draw away at Fulham, and a draw away at Leeds, and a draw at home to Sunderland, and a draw at home to almost drawing at home to Wolves. And there's a 4th draw that I forgot about. Like, basically, the team against Fulham was the following: goalkeeper, defenders, all the rest midfielders, and then one winger. That's it. By the way, the only forward he had on the pitch the whole game was Cody
We
Gakpo.
didn't actually change the way that we played. Like, we didn't have more possession than we did in all these games that we lost earlier in the season. We didn't change the way that we build up that we did in all of these games that we lost earlier in the season. The only thing that changed was that more guys ran back on transition and other teams have been less clinical. I've watched Brighton miss open nets. I've watched Wolves miss free headers. I have seen other teams not have a clinical edge against us. It just so happened that Fulham did on the day. But either way, Reed had 3 other options to play a guy one-on-one with the goalkeeper before he took that shot. I'm not seeing a change in the way that we play. I'm seeing other teams getting less clinical and us being a little bit more attentive on counterattacks, getting more bodies back. That's not changing. That just means that more guys are putting in more effort to not get countered. And I'm also seeing teams play less long balls against us because we're not pressing. Like, that's not a significant change in my eyes in terms of how we're playing, because we still have 70% possession in most of these games, 65% possession. So, the majority of the game is the same. It's just in those 5 minutes that you don't have the ball.
Did we check who had the most touches? Was it Virgil again against Fulham?
It was Virgil.
I don't even have a problem with that. Like, that's not the biggest issue. Like it's the Premier League. Center backs are going to get 90 touches a game. The problem is that Virgil is holding the ball and there's no midfielders and 5 basically Virgil has the ball at the center circle. There's 5 defenders in between him and the rest of our team. So you're asking Virgil to be your deep lying center mid playmaker, but you're also giving him no help, no support. You're basically saying, Virgil, I want you to be Messi, Modric, and Maldini in one. That doesn't make any sense.
Man, the most touches was Connor Bradley. Second is Van Dijk and Konate, bro.
Shit.
Yeah, but that's normal. That's normal. Like,
No, you're right back.
if you've got, but it is, if you're in possession of the ball, it depends. If he's involved in build up and you're trying to get him isolated, it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest problem for
and
me,
they had more
Liverpool,
passes than anyone as well. So volume wise, it's the same.
Yeah, but they attack us down all right. So the right back's going to be more involved defensively. He'll be intercepting more. He'll be recovering the ball more. Because that, even though we've lost a certain right back, it turns out teams didn't just attack down that side because he was there, or don't just attack down that side because Salah's there. They attack down that side because it's a structural problem, and it's easy to attack down that side because there's no Virgil van Dijk there, as it has been the case for the past 8 fucking years. But that was always brushed aside because it's either Salah or Trent's fault.
It was 100%.
Jerry, you fell for that, but now that narrative has been destroyed.
What narrative?
The Salah narrative.
No, it's both. It's the fact that the right hand side, you had your best attacker at the time that is more offensive on that right hand side. You also had Trent that was a bit more expansive, and you had Konate that had to go and deal with that. It's a structural problem.
No, I'm talking about this season.
Yeah, but in general, it's always been a structural problem. This season,
even when Klopp was here.
Yeah, it's always been a structural problem. It's always been a structural problem. But that's the risk.
That's why we needed someone like Henderson in the successful era.
Yeah, exactly. That's why. But that's the risk, isn't it? That's the risk Liverpool decided to go and play with. That was like, okay, cool. We're going to cheat on this side a bit because we trust that when we get it, we can be effective. Problem is, when you cheat and you're not effective, that's when it starts to crumble.
Mm-hmm. I don't have any sympathy for the manager, by the way. I heard what you were talking about just before I joined.
With the Edwards beef, you mean?
Yes, I have absolutely zero sympathy for him because I'll sit there and break it down. We spent 450 million quid for him this summer on all the players that he wanted, and he's sitting there going, "I want another 100 million pounds for Bradley Barcola."
He wants a Gucci belt as well.
Another Darwin Núñez.
I hear that. No, I hear that. But that's my question. My question was, are these now players that he wanted? Because the way it seems,
he wanted a Bradley Barcola or a Malik Fofana, and he wanted to loan out Ngumoha. And Hughes went, we can't justify another 100 million quid right now. So you're going to have to play with Ngumoha and give him minutes, and maybe he can develop into one of those players that you can use from that point. And we can assess the situation next season.
But did he want Frimpong? Yeah, but did he want Frimpong as well? But I'm now obviously we don't know that.
Every player that joined Liverpool this summer was signed off by the manager.
Yeah,
every player that joined Liverpool this summer was signed off by the manager.
He's not even the manager; he's the head coach. Like it's not his job to fucking go and point to players and say
you
that,
have to have a say as a manager.
Obviously,
there has to be a
there's
common
cohabitation.
But
like
exactly, but there has to be a common idea, isn't it? This is my problem, is that if we're looking at these signings, because I'm looking at it and I'm like, all right, Frimpong comes in and he starts the season, but then we start to see actually you're not starting as many games as you should, albeit he's been injured a couple of times. But it's not like every time he's fit he plays, right? It's rotating between him and Bradley and trying to figure out what's going on.
I think that was pretty obvious from everything that Arne Slot said indicated that he wasn't going to be a starting right back, because he kept saying that he's great cover for Salah. He's great cover for Salah. Your starting right back can't be a backup right winger. So it kind of has to be either backups for two or start for one, backup for none. And to me, he inferred very clearly that Frimpong was his cover for the entire right-hand side. He thought that he could manage it better and he'd only need one guy to cover the right-hand side completely, and that wasn't the case. The left-hand side, Diaz, he wanted to keep Diaz, but he didn't get to him, which happens at football clubs. We rightly didn't pay him the money that he wanted because he was wanting close to 300 grand a week at 29 years of age. It doesn't line up because he didn't have that level of output for us to justify that. And then he goes, okay, well, get me Bradley Barcola. There's a reason we're interested in Bradley Barcola now. It's because Bradley Barcola is a very good left winger who the football club would like to buy at some point. But when the manager's made it abundantly clear he wants Alexander Isak because he wants to adjust our style of play to go through a 9 rather than through Salah. When he's bought a Florian Wirtz because he wants a creative number 10 to pick up the creative burden that was lost when Trent Alexander-Arnold left. Because he bought Hugo Ekitike because we needed a second striker, just the unfortunate passing of Diogo Jota. That there is close to 300. It is 300 million quid on 3 attackers. We can't then go out and go, listen, PSG, we know you don't want to sell Barcola, and next summer you'll be a lot more. You'll be in a bit of a weaker position because of he's got less time on his contract. But you know what? We'll come to you right now and we'll give you about 110, 120 million quid because that's about what he wants. So we go into a season spending 420 million pounds on attackers for him. That can't happen. That cannot happen. Every other thing he wanted, we didn't compromise. That was the one thing we always did in Klopp. We would compromise with Klopp. We'd compromise. We wouldn't get him everything he wanted. We would compromise. We did not compromise on a single bit for this manager. He wanted a big name striker. He got the big name striker. He wanted the big name attacking midfielder. He got the big name attacking midfielder. He wanted 2 new fullbacks. He got 2 new fullbacks. Sorry, the football club can't afford to spend 550 million quid in one window. That would be the most expensive transfer window of all time.
We also sold,
and that would be another player that we can't really
made money.
Use in this team in the proper way. Let me just quickly, sorry guys, just because all of these are related. Big up to LFC News today. Said Slot wanted Barcola or Fofana and Rio to get loan. So big up to you, LFC News today, which is the stuff that we're discussing right now. And Brad says Slot was pushing for Barcola and or Fofana, but Hughes on the board wanted him to play and develop Rio. You know, I see someone in the chat comment earlier on. I don't know if JJ was in that chat that day when I did the solo stream before Wolves. And I told you guys, Slot is beefing the board. I told you guys 100 times. When I say something on YouTube, I double check it. I don't like to say shit and it's just some made up stuff. And I told you about the Barcola stuff as well. I've been putting him on thumbnails. So, like, when you with Liverpool Football Club, we're a different football club. It's more likely, and Tom will tell you this because he's a big thing on Twitter now. You're more likely to know stuff by knowing someone who tells you like what's really happening inside the football club. And this whole beef with the board thing, I've spoken about it pre-Wolves. The live videos there, you can go watch it. I said there's disagreements between him and the board, and there's disagreements between him and the people, running the club. And I think, like I said, and I stick by that, had we lost to Wolves, they would have sacked him and pretended it's because we lost to Wolves. But it's not because we lost to Wolves. It's because the disagreements. It's the same thing with Maresca and Poch and blah, blah, blah. So he basically wants more say and shit like this.
More control, all of that.
Yeah, 100%. At least the Toxic Avenger showed up to a stream. Ed is on to Mike.
Is Callum Sanderson here?
Who's that?
I was talking about Mike.
Mike.
Big up to Mike Ikea says, big up the whole panel. Your work rate inspires me. Habibi, you gotta do what you gotta do. This is YouTube, man. We got to keep putting content for you guys.
What's up with Ed and subscribe me? This doesn't make no sense.
Like ASAP, we got 800 people locked in. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for always supporting us. Now, let me ask Tom this question. So with the Bradley Barcola thing, I agree with the manager. I think we did need Bradley Barcola. I won't lie to you. That's a player that I would have absolutely loved at Liverpool Football Club. My issue with the Barcola stuff is I question whether Slot would have used them in the right way. I don't question the idea behind signing Barcola because I think he would have been a great player to add to us.
Yeah, he would have been. He's one of the best left wingers on the planet. But the fact of the matter is, I'm not against the football club going, no, we're not going to spend 500 million quid in one window. You've got a very talented winger there who can be the backup. We gave Cody Gakpo a new contract for you. You know, Landlord got a new deal. So he's tied down. Ngumoha's there. Probably had, all things considered, the best pre-season out of any player there. I'm not saying he has to start every game. I'm not saying he has to start many games. But there's an option there. There's an option there for you to use. The idea that you bring in Barcola, it'd be wonderful, but then you're in I don't think any player gets used correctly at the minute. So again, we'll be in the same spot. A Barcola on the left doesn't fix the massive structural Ten Hag problems that we've got. Honestly, go watch an Eric Ten Hag game from 23-24 and go watch one of ours. It's scarily similar.
Dutch football.
It's Dutch football.
Dutch football, baby. That's total football, dog.
That's the weird one. That's the weird one because he was one of those managers that never really subscribed to Dutch football when he was in Netherlands. That's why I'm like,
yeah, because
you say that, but the principles were there, innit? It's like you can make small adjustments in the league, right? And it looks a bit different, but the principles were always there.
But JJ, you talk about Feyenoord and Ajax don't play the same football. That was
no, they don't. No, they don't. But the principles are there. So it's called the Curver. It's called the Curver coaching system. If you research it, the Dutch football all starts like that. So the way they understand football and they look at football and they play football is all the same. That's why you go and look at like this winger. He plays exactly the same as this winger. And in Dutch football, like what since like your Van der Vaarts and your Snyders and stuff, who's been a top like Dutch forward, Dutch like there hasn't been. They're all just samey.
You know what's funny? The Dutch players back in the day used to have amazing forwards and shit center backs. Now it's reversed. Now they have really good center backs and shit forwards. Remember when Robin and Van Persie used to play with Matthijs and Boularouz and these players? Remember?
And the wheel and them.
Remember?
I don't know if I would say that.
They used to have that defender that played for Stoke, Martins Indy. Remember? They used to have those players.
Yeah.
And now it's reversed. Like they
Eric
don't have
Peters. Remember Eric Peters?
The Dutch national team isn't that bad. And Cody Gakpo actually is proficient in the Dutch national team. And again, I don't think his poor form at Liverpool is not down to his ability. Like that's just the hill that I'm willing to die on.
No, but he can be effective. That's fine. But what I'm saying is, just in general, I'm not talking about the players, but in terms of the coaching, it doesn't matter what you think. Dutch football, right? If you compare it to where it was in the 80s, right, and the 70s and 80s, compared to now, they are nowhere near Germany, Spain, or even France in terms of winning anything. So, yes, they've got a decent crop of players. Their philosophy is decent in terms of it makes technically sound players all across the
They make it to the final four of every tournament.
Yeah, but you look at
that's
it and
just
like,
quality compared to their peers, right?
Yeah, it's not when it comes down, when it really comes down to it, and they're playing the top. Even if they play England, they lose against England.
I mean, Mike, the big problem there is the fact that their record goal scorer is Memphis Depay. Okay, they still have to wheel out Memphis Depay now.
I'm not okay. I'm not trying to make the argument that the Dutch national team is going to win the World Cup. All I'm saying is that I'm not going to draw. Like I do the Dutch thing as a gimmick. Like I say, I can't stand the Dutch because I love Austin Powers. Like I don't think it's about him being Dutch. I think it's about Arne Slot having a massively inflated ego, and he's doing Einstein's definition. Einstein's definition of insanity. I've seen other managers with egos like this, though.
But we're not doing the same thing. I hear the same things about Erik ten Hag. Erik ten Hag had a big ego at Manchester United.
Yeah.
Van Gaal had a big ego at Manchester United.
Van Gaal and Cruyff used to have arguments about their styles of football.
So we get to this point. The Dutch national team probably don't play the Dutch style of football. The most out of anyone, they play a back three. They play a bit direct in nature. They try and hit teams on the counter. That's not what we do. That's not what United try to do. Dutch football, And the reason I say it is because we've got the same problems that United had. What was United's main problem? What was everything?
I don't think he's wrong for wanting Barcola, though.
He's not wrong for that, but this was about how we'd use him. It wouldn't matter if we had Barcola, because the whole point is it wouldn't fix the problems.
This is the biggest winger on the planet there, and it ain't going to work.
No, but this is the biggest problem, right?
We vacated the midfield.
You could want Barcola, Hussam, right? But this is what Klopp would have we've seen it with Klopp. We've seen it even with Guardiola, right? They'd look at that and be like, all right, I'm looking at the squad now. This is the profile of player I need. In the squad, this is the player that fits that profile the most. So guess what? That player is going to go and play. Yes, it's not ideally what I want, and it might change over time, but I'm going to put that player there because he's the closest to the profile that I have, right? So he wants Barcola. Why is Rio not playing then? That doesn't make any sense to me.
That part, I agree with
you. If he wants to create, if his argument,
100% Rio Ngumoha, you're correct.
And that's my argument. If my argument was, you know what, I haven't got a winger that can beat his man 1v1, you know, I need him, I need 100. Well, then you'd need to play Rio all the time to show that's what I need.
JJ, that's what the board is saying. That's what the board's saying. Like we're telling us that we spend money on Fofana. We don't want to get for example. The other guy was Fofana, right? The board was like, we got Rio. We don't need to get someone like Fofana.
That's my point. That's why it doesn't make sense to me. So you're saying you want a Barcola. It's like me saying to everyone, guys, I need a really, really, really rapid centre back to play this high line that I'm playing, and I've got a rapid centre back on the bench, but I'm deciding to play the slowest one in the team and complaining that I haven't got a centre back that can run. It doesn't make any sense to me.
No,
if that's my system, if my system requires that,
and I want to show the board how would I use him and blah blah blah, I would play Rio Ngumoha. I agree with you there. But the problem is he doesn't help himself. Like if you want to prove that you need a left winger that style, you would at least give Ngumoha a couple of minutes. And by the way, this last run of form we've had, we're talking about what's his name, Ekitike being injured. We're talking about Isak being injured. We're talking about Salah being at AFCON. All of these things have happened and Rio Ngumoha didn't play. There's a guy who messaged me publicly, messaged me privately on Snapchat and started commenting here, insulting me for saying that I wanted Chiesa to play right wing and Ngumoha left wing, basically, when Gakpo was injured too, because I just wanted that to actually use some width, which I think has been a problem in our game recently. So, I get it. Rio Ngumoha is a 17-year-old. He's not Messi yet. But we're never going to figure out if he's that level of player if we don't give him a chance. And guess what? Every time he comes on the pitch, he makes a positive impact, whether it's getting past players or it's doing stuff like this. The issue is, and this is where Mike's point at the beginning, it comes all the way back full cycle, which is, look, I'm at the point now where I'm thinking, even if we did sign Bradley Barcola in the summer, I wonder, would he have used him correctly? Would he have placed him in a manner that platforms will succeed?
It wouldn't matter how he placed Barcola. Barcola would be doing the Gakpo job. Because he wouldn't change how the left winger works.
And that's what's scary.
The output would not be different.
The big problem we have is actually entirely irrelevant for the left winger. The big problem we have is when you watch us defend, we give up the most important part of the pitch. We leave two strikers, push our 10 right up to them, and then have our DM drop into the back line and keep the two wide midfielders wide. So we basically just have a fucking diamond in the middle of space for
a donut. It's a donut. It's the Mike donut. It's the donut. Yeah,
it's the Ten Hag donut. It's the only manager the only Dutch manager I haven't seen have it is Van Gaal, because he was defensively minded. Slaughter tries to be more attack minded. The same problems there, and because he's failed to address that, because we're still doing that now, even though we're in Save My Job football. What he's limited now is we don't fucking attack. We just don't attack. The last game, we scored a goal off our own back where we played through the opposition with a nice move, some nice patterns, was Leeds. The third goal against Leeds.
Yeah.
Back in December 5th or whatever it was.
That was also transition, by the way.
Yeah. Would you say that's
it was off a goal kick, when it was off a goal kick. So we played off a goal kick.
But what I'm saying is that it was like 4 passes. Like, it wasn't build up. It was like 4 passes to get Soboslai behind.
Mike, the standards are very low at the minute. I'm trying to be very generous.
No.
Tom,
He
had a move.
I'm with you. Like, I've been calling out. I call it V-ball. I'm not going to say it to not get the stream demonetized. But I call it a very
the money, brother.
A very specific V-word ball. Like, we vacate the middle in all aspects. The amount of times that, like, even in the final third, like, I brought up the point the other day how we had, I think in the first half we had like 200 touches in the final third, but we had 0 shots on target. And someone was like, "Well, that's what you get with a low block." I'm like, that's not what you get with a low block. If I have enough time to get 200
with a low block, how the fuck did Pep Guardiola get 100 points?
Exactly. So, like, if I get 200 passes in the final third, but I don't have the central support to make anything happen, like 190 of those passes are between the right back. Or between the right winger and the right back, because a 5-yard pass backwards, guess what, buddy? That counts. And that's like 90% of those passes. So to me, it's just like you vacate the most important area of the pitch in both senses, in transition and in offense. And it makes no sense. And then when you go wide, you try to stretch the pitch, but then you offer no support. It's like when we go wide, we fill the middle, but you shouldn't be filling the middle because someone has to be there to help the wide player. And then when we go to the middle, everyone goes out wide so that there's zero direct support for the people in the middle. And we're never in the middle in the final third. It's always the middle at the halfway line. But the whole thing with Rio is just, it isn't even about starting the guy. I don't give a shit about that. Florian Wirtz scored an offside goal that was not chalked off in the 57th minute. So you were given a grace by God, a grace from God to have the most obvious offside goal of the season be called as a goal standing on the field. And you didn't make a single substitution until the 75th minute. For 15 more minutes, you made 0 changes. We had 0 attacking prowess. For those next 15 minutes, you easily could have brought on Rio Ngumoha. You should have left Florian Wirtz on the pitch. It's like, at this point, I'm even going to the substitutions and I'm saying Arne Slot genuinely does not care about in-game management. He is all about, as long as this guy's available for me next week, I'm less likely to lose my job. Florian Wirtz must come off because he can't play more than 65 minutes because I can't risk him getting injured. Curtis Jones has to come off because I can't risk him getting injured. This guy has to come on because I can't risk this guy getting injured. It's like, it doesn't make any possible sense that you wouldn't try to make substitutions at that moment. You get the goal, bring on an attacker. Nope, I'm chill. I'm gonna just play the same way I was playing all game.
Mike, that's not how Arne Slot works. Arne Slot only brings on attackers if he's losing games, and then he solely brings on attackers. Fuck any structure. How many attackers can I get on the pitch? Did you hear what he said the other day? He said, "If I could play 8 attackers."
Yeah, I know he's an absolute idiot. But the only point I'm trying to make is that you don't even need him to start. I don't need Rio Ngumoha to start. Just bring it. Like, if the game is drawing in the 60th minute, bring the guy on. Every time he's on the pitch, he gets to the byline. Even if it's not resulting in a goal, he's getting to the byline. And by getting to the byline, that fullback is now going to think about that. That center back is now going to think about that. I don't always need a player to produce a shot. I don't always need a player to produce a chance. I need a player to make the defense think, I can't let him get there. Like, that's the most beneficial thing from a substitution, is putting the extra thought in a defender's mind. But right now, the only thought in a defender's mind is, what am I going to have for lunch? Do you guys think that I could play this game in a wheelchair? Because I'm spending a lot of time walking. And I've been talking about walking for the last 6 months. And now I'm seeing it all over Twitter. People are now going into super deep dives, super deep analysis about the amount of time we spend walking. That's something we were saying last season. Right? Defenders don't have to think. If by bringing Rio on, at the very minimum, that fullback is thinking. The center back is thinking. There's an element of unpredictability here. I don't know what's going to happen. And sometimes all you need is a deflection. Sometimes, much like the Burnley game, Rio Ngumoha driving down the left, making that crossfield pass, bypassing everyone, Frimpong kicks it in, handball. Like, that's a goal created from an action created by Rio Ngumoha. It's these things that we're not seeing because the manager is a fucking coward. Like, I don't even think it's about the development. It's just about doing something. Do anything. And you have that option, and you don't use it. Fuck the development. The dude's 17. He's got the next 5 years to develop.
I don't know. For me, it just don't work like that, innit? If the guy is good enough, he plays, innit? He's old enough. This whole thing about, he's got 5 years to develop. No, I know players that have been at academies from when they were 15 They were told, yeah, you got till 20 to do it, and then they ended up playing wherever, playing five-a-side. So it's like, I don't want to hear this, oh, you got 5 years, because you don't know how long your career is going to be there. He's there, he was told, he was given his contract thing, he was told, I'm going to be back up to Gakpo, and I've seen what a total of, I think Ram said, 90 minutes, 100 minutes, or whatever it is. That for me, if you're any, do you know what I mean, any prospect, any backup winger, you're looking at that thinking, huh? Oh, 100 minutes. All right, cool. We're not going to come here then. Simple.
It's not as though we're blessed with so many wingers available right now. That's the issue. Like,
Gakpo was out, Ram.
We're desperate. That's what I'm saying. All our wingers are out, and we're desperate. Like, desperate times call for desperate measures. That's where you play the youth. If you got a little bit of a crisis where you have no wingers left, then play the kids. That's what you do. That's how we won our trophy in 23-24. We had no one else available. Who do we turn to? The kids.
Do you want to know the funny irony of it?
Sold them all.
Arnie Slott's refusing to play the kids to save his job. If Arnie Slott played the kids, I'd have a bit more sympathy for him. Exactly. I said, didn't go well. At least he's
tried everything. He's tried everything. That's what I would say. I would say he's tried everything. You know, Rio, he's just not working. This guy, Chiesa, he's just not working. Like, but by not doing it, you're leaving these questions unanswered, and by leaving questions unanswered, you're driving more frustration.
Maybe that's why the board is getting annoyed with him, because one of the main aims of the board is one of the identities we want to bring forward now. I think ever since Klopp was here was promote youth, promote the academy. We did a lot of work with the academy.
But be cynical about it, Ram. Bringing kids through the youth setup and having them play games for Liverpool makes them a lot more valuable. Quanta's never gone for 35 million quid otherwise.
100%.
So it even
he's balling out right now too.
For fans, it's the romantic side of it of seeing a kid come through the academy. He's one of our own. He comes in, he has the impact. For the board, they've got to be more cynical about it. Business wise, having an academy
FFP is pure profit.
Having an academy that generates these players that can go on to be sold for good money. That's what matters to them. So Arnie Slot hasn't done any help with that. He's not done anything to help with that this season. So they're
right. There's been no breakout player. They're right. There's been no youngster in any position that you look at and you're like, oh, that's
no. But it was meant to be Rio. I mean, everyone. I guarantee you, every single one of us when we were doing our preseason predictions, the breakout player was Rio.
No, I know. But what I'm saying is this is what I don't understand. Why this is what doesn't make sense to me. Is that why? What is it can't be the fact that he's not good enough. It cannot, because otherwise. You don't give him the contract extension. You just don't train with the first team. He does the Jaden Dan. He just stays with the under-21s. That's what I don't understand about it.
The only thing
it's like he's trying to prove a point. It's like he's trying to say, no, I'm going to do this just to show what.
But Jerry, if you think of, like, I think the reason why he doesn't play Chiesa, the reason why he doesn't play Rio Ngumoha is because when you look at when you look at the players that are consistently picked, and let's use one of the regular first team guys. Alexis McAllister. What is the difference between McAllister and Curtis Jones? McAllister follows the script to a T. He never goes off script. McAllister never goes off the script at a single moment. Curtis Jones.
McAllister says McAllister is slot out as well.
Curtis Jones will go off script. When I've seen Rio Ngumoha come on the pitch this season, I've seen him go off script. When I've seen Chiesa come on the pitch this season, I've seen him go off script, both positive and negative. I mean, Chiesa is the only reason why we beat Sunderland, drew to Sunderland. So I think it's more about the fact that Slot, he's obsessed with control, and by playing Gakpo, he knows Gakpo will not go off script. By playing these players, he knows exactly what they will do. There's no unpredictability. They will do everything that he tells them. They will stay in the zones that he tells them to stay in. I think that ultimately that's what it comes down to. Based on his prior decisions, based on the way that he speaks, based on his obsession with control that isn't actually control, that makes the most sense. He's trying to put the most predictable team out there for his own senses.
Do you know what I think it is? Like, you know how, like, football, there's like two ideas in football, isn't there? There's like positionalism and relationism, and everyone's got like the mix of them. Everyone has a bit of it and more of another. Arnie Slot is kind of, football's went one way, and in the summer football's went one way, or in the 18 months football's went one way and pushed one way. Slot's went the fucking other. He's not seen what's coming, and when I'm going to have to adapt to that so I can carry on with it and stick with the times and just add my twist on it. He's went the complete
and then he publicly talks about it. And then he goes the other way, and then we're so far away that there will be games where we win because we have quality, but we are so far away from the general consensus of football, and that style of football is beating us. That style of football is more effective than this style of football with players that are available right now, with the standard of football the way it is. So he's went to a way that would have been good 4 years ago when everyone was still obsessed with the Pep style of football. But Pep doesn't even play the Pep style of football now. But
even Pep has changed.
Tom, but the thing is, that wouldn't be my problem, because when Jurgen Klopp would play the way he did, it was completely different to the way everyone else tried to play.
Yeah.
I don't care about how we go and do it. Like, I don't think that's a problem. But then what I'm saying is how it's been implemented. I'm like, well, why? And I've said this from before. If you want to keep possession, why is Curtis Jones not playing on the pitch? Why? So again, we can go and talk about that stuff, but it's not like we are playing like prime Barcelona and we're dominating the game, creating so many chances, and then the team's catching us on the counter and we're losing games.
Yeah,
like,
this is true.
He doesn't even play the right players for his own style.
But that's my point. That's my point. If I went and looked at it and I was watching the games and I was like, we are dominating this game, And then after every game, I was like, Liverpool have dominated that game but got caught on the counter, I wouldn't be saying anything here. But I was looking at it and thinking, why is he playing? Why are you leaving him one? It's been 5 games now. You've tried to get him. You tried to get this winger or this fullback 1v1 against his player. He's not beating his man. Well, you're gonna have to change something up then.
You know what we do now, Jerry. You know what we do now. We get caught on the counter attack still, but we don't even dominate the team. So I just sit there and watch the whole game and go, "What the fuck am I doing?"
We get hit on the.
Aaron said something earlier on in the chat. He's like, watching any football is more entertaining than Liverpool right now. Like, I watched today. I watched Algeria, Congo. I watched Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire, and I'm watching Forest.
Did you watch Sunderland versus City? Did you watch
all of them? Yes, Sunderland versus City, even as a 0-0, was entertaining.
Sunderland moved the ball better than us. Sunderland moved the ball better than us.
You don't need to go to that game to prove it. I was at Anfield when we played them. They were the home team.
Yeah, did you even? Yeah. Sunderland moved the ball better than us. I mean, did you see what Mohamed Salah did in the second half versus Sunderland? It was get the ball to Salah and have him dribble into a 3v1. Surely, at some point he will beat 3 guys at 34 years old. This plan seems effective. 45 minutes of 3v1.
But that's what I'm saying. This is what I don't understand. This is what I'm saying. Cool. If you want to go and play like that, and this is where cool. You just have to be dramatic sometimes. Cool. Well, guess what? This player's not playing then. It doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what we've got here. You're not going to play. I'm going to play this profile of player because this is what I need to play this system. I don't care if it means Wikas has got to sit on the bench for the rest of the season, or Szoboszlai's not going to play, or Gravenberch's not going to play because Curtis Jones needs to play, or vice versa. You do that. I don't care if it means that, guess what, Bradley, you're not going to be playing anymore, or Kirkes, you're not good enough to play like this because I need you inverted and you're going to have to just stay on the bench. I don't care. But we're looking at it. We can't press. We can't drop off. So defensively, we're not great, right? We don't just soak up pressure. We don't counter-attack as well. We don't keep the ball well. We're garbage on set pieces defensively and offensively. What kind of team is it? Honestly, it's a group of players.
Individual quality.
It's a group of players.
Individual moments of brilliance.
It's the equivalent of us getting together now to have a 5-a-side game and just working it out as it goes on. Mm-hmm. And I might be able to do something, but then I play the through ball to Hussam. Hussam wants it to feet, and then we lose the ball. And then I go and decide to shoot, and I'm like, I might get the rebound, but he's sitting off because he's defensively. That's what it looks like. It's and I don't understand. And this is where I went back to end of last season. I was like, Slot came out and in January said teams have found out how they play against us. So you had from January till now, to go and instill a philosophy, a system. And this is why I said it was so important, right? That not only you can get your head around, that the players can back. Where I'm watching the game and I'm like, oh, I get what you're trying to do. Forget if I like it or not. Forget if it was like Tony Pulis football. It could even be that, right? But if I sat there and was like, oh, I see what we're doing. There's 2 banks of 4. We're shifting left and right. But it's consistent. We've had 18 months to work on it. Cool. And you decide to run with that. That's fine. I look at it and I can't even tell you what it is because he says he wants to be like Klopp. but we don't press as well. The press is like, at this moment in time, it's one player presses, the ball gets passed, then the next player presses,
It isn't
and
a
everyone
press.
just gets popped around.
Let's not even honor it.
You see how we're pressing against Fulham? It's Gakpo doing this, basically.
Yeah, it is. It is not a press.
Everyone gets popped around the park, right? It then is, once it gets into the middle, all right, we're not going to we can't press now either because we've only got one midfielder against 4 defenders, so we drop off. And then the midfielders are trying to get back, but they don't get back aggressively enough. And then we end up in situations where we could be 9, a team could be 10, 9 men down. It could be a 5 at the back with 2 in midfield, and the 2 in midfield are popping about our 3 in midfield like it's a joke. And it happens every game, by the way. Every game, there's a period in the game where I'm watching them like, how is Wolves dominating the 3 in midfield with Ekitike dropping in? And why are we losing? Why are we getting dominated with Newcastle when they've got 10 men and Bruno Guimaraes and Tonali are just keeping it, and we can't get near them.
Why were Tottenham the best team?
Why were Tottenham
with 9 men? With 9 men. But so the thing that angers me the most is if I go back to Brentford away, the game that pissed me off more than anything in the world. I saw the same band-aid that he used all of last season. From the turn of the year last year, when we would have games where we couldn't deal with the press, right? Think Brighton at home, think Arsenal away, think Southampton. When we couldn't deal with the press, when we could not deal with the aggressive press, it was get the ball to Virgil and ping it to either Luis Diaz or Mohamed Salah and figure it out from the opposition.
Or Trent will get the ball and ping it.
But to me, Virgil was still more than capable of doing that, right? This season, the last time I've seen us fall back to direct play while not being able to build up was Brentford. And that was however many weeks ago. What makes no sense is that any person who is watching this right now, any single one of you would have the basic common sense to think, okay, I haven't been able to build up for the last 2 months. So let me put Ngumoha and Frimpong on, and let me just have Virgil ping 60-yard passes all fucking day. Eventually, they will get to one, and then I'll just play quick in the opposition final third. And even if they lose possession, guess what? All my fucking players are in the middle of the pitch because my center back just pinged it. I'm not even seeing that basic of a Band-Aid being applied. I'm not even seeing us try to go direct, even when Frimpong's on the pitch, even though he can by himself beat 2 men at the top of the box. He can kick the ball to the byline from the top of the box and still fucking get there. He can beat any player on the pitch for pace. Rio Ngumoha, plenty fast. He can win a race to the corner. I'm not even seeing this basic of a doorstop.
Look at our attacks. Look at
the sole way we attacked Leeds. It was just Frimpong was quicker than their left back. Just keep fucking sending the ball down the channel.
But we only did that at this. We only did that at the end of the first half. We went down that right hand side against Leeds like 4 or 5
No, he started.
times.
No, to be fair, Frimpong started off very, very sharp. I think that start
him and Ekitike.
Him and Ekitike both were quite sharp in terms of trying to go and do that. But the problem is that you're reliant on your players just beating them 1v1, and that's a problem I would look at just systematically.
So
but
then
it goes back
the
to
whole philosophy that he's got. We only win games through set pieces or individual quality.
But that's my point.
Only individual quality.
Exactly. But then if that's what you require, if that's what he's got, this is what doesn't make sense to me. So cool. We disagree with it, but that's the way he wants to go and do it. So why are you playing the winger out on the left that can't beat his man? And why are you playing the guy on the right that can't
because
beat
he's Dutch?
Forget whatever else we think. Forget whether you think Salah's world class or not, whether you think Gakpo's world class or not, whether you think this forward's world class or not. You need players then that can beat their players 1v1 all over the pitch. All over the pitch, by the way. So it's got to be, whether it's Gravenberch with his turn, whether it's Jones keeping the ball, you need players that can go and do that all over the pitch. Right? So cool. Play Rio and you've got to get someone else in to go and do that then. Whether we really agree with it or not, then we've got to do that. But he's not doing it. This is what I don't understand. It's like he's continually playing Gakpo. And this is the problem I spoke about for years, but with last season with Gakpo as well, by the way. Because when I looked at it and I'm like, well, this is why Diaz needs to play. Because you can see what's going on. It's getting him isolated 1v1. Can he beat his man? No, he can't. But guess what? When you're scoring goals, people ignore that stuff. But the system is more important than just the end product. Because it's the same thing we spoke about with the performances and results thing earlier this season. Is we're seeing something's not working, but we're winning games, so people turn a blind eye to it until the results run out, and then you're like, oh, actually, this isn't working. Then it was the same thing, and last season it was the same thing because Hassam, to your point, and you to your credit, you was talking about saying it's just Salah's quality. You're like, it's Salah's quality. We're getting him 1v1, and then he's doing something. If he doesn't do something, then it's a bit more of a struggle, and that was it. And that was the basis of how Liverpool created attacks. It was individual quality from Trent from deep, because he'd just do something ridiculous. It would be individual quality from Salah, and then from a just 1v1 basis, it might be individual quality from Diaz, where you're like, how has he beaten 3 players and then just squared it to someone, and then it'll be players running around. But that was it. There was no, I'd never looked at it and thought, oh, I get what Liverpool are trying to do. It was a bit of a wish-washy thing.
But here's the thing, Jerry. Look, Mike mentioned it earlier on when he was speaking. My thing is, look, you got a gift. Versus goal got counted. It's now 1-1. Okay. Now anyone, all 5 of us here. I look at my bench. It's 1-1. I got a gift. It's not offside. Frimpong has got 2 assists in 2 games, and he's the only winger that offers exactly what Jerry just said. He's the only one I have currently. Even if you don't want to trust the kid, he's the only one that can beat someone with his pace. He might not beat him with his dribbling, but guess what? He beats him with his pace. Meaning, Frimpong will get past someone because he's more quick than everyone else. Why did it take so long to bring on Frimpong? I don't understand. And that's a player that has actually probably been, over the last 3 to 4 games, our best player on the whole football pitch. No exaggeration. So it took you that long to bring on Jeremy Frimpong, which I think has been an issue, really. So that's why, for me, I think his substitutions and in-game management, I agree with Mike, it's making shit worse. Like, even when we're getting gifts from the opposition, we're not really even like, we're not pouncing on a gift that the opposition is giving us. And my thing is as well with this whole thing with the fans and everything, and even like the pundits and blah blah blah. Like, Carragher now is talking about Kirkaz. Like, bro, it's like everyone will discuss everything around the actual problem except the problem itself. And that, for me, is the biggest issue in this like, now the new guy we're looking at is Kirkaz. I'll be honest, I don't even think Kirkaz is that bad of a player. I think Kirkaz has just been used wrong, just like the rest of the fucking team. He was a very good overlapping fullback last season. Now we're asking him to underlap most of the time. We aren't even asking him to do the shit that he's good at. And like, it's just so boring. Every week there's a new fucker we want to scapegoat. I'm not even calling out the Gakpo anymore. Like, it is what it is. I'm at the stage where I just... Mike, let me just grab these supers. I'm going to carry on speaking. Big up to everyone locked in. Make sure you guys are liking and subscribing. 900 people almost in the building. Thank you guys for being here. Please hit the like button and subscribe right here, right now. Let's get to 300 likes ASAP. Big up to all of you guys. Someone found LFC head of rehab physiotherapy team, and they sold Ekitike for Thiago this week, by the way. He's definitely out.
Which one was that?
Pairs. I have no idea who, but Ekitike is out for Thursday anyway. Liverpool can finally become like PSG, like Slot wanted, by firing him and hiring Enrique. Hey, I'm all in. Sign me up.
No,
by the way, I just want to say something to all of you guys now.
Why would he leave PSG right now?
Yeah,
do not right now, Summer. Do not give up. Telling you right now, this dream of Enrique being Liverpool manager, do not give up on it.
It's
not IPK stuff.
It's the Bellingham 2.0, isn't it?
Give up this summer. This summer, there is a hope. There is a hope.
This is Bellingham 2.0, people. Do not fall for it.
Bellingham, bro.
He wants a new challenge. He's rejected a lot of money at PSG. He wants a new challenge. It's not impossible.
That's fake news. Then he
I would like to keep the delusions strictly on the pitch, if we can do that.
Oh my God, look at me. I'm Ram, who's been doing football content for 4 years, yet I'm clueless. Oh my God, he's denying those rumors. So what's Enrique supposed to say in the press conference? Yeah, this is a shit club.
Enrique hasn't actually said anything on it yet.
Ram is bullshitting as per usual.
Here we go.
Play FIFA, Habibi. Great managers don't adapt to
the you want is FIFA, bro.
Getting Enrique, Pep and Klopp made their own style and everyone started copying them. This is true. And, you know, to Tom's point, like, football's moving in one style and he's moving in the other. Like, football's going there and he's going here. Like, football is now going like wingers with, you know, dribblers, technique, and he's going here.
In the summer where Pep Guardiola has embraced giving up possession in games, our managers went, you know what I need? Possession.
More possession. Yep.
Fuck me.
Big up the panel. As always, thank you, Ice-T. I've said this too many games to count now, but I feel like I'm watching a slothball rendition of Bill Murray's Groundhog Day every game. I think there will be nothing Groundhog this Thursday away at Arsenal. I'll be honest.
What do you mean? I can tell you exactly what will happen. We'll play the game. We'll lose the game. We'll concede a set piece. Afterwards, the manager will come out and go, fine margins. If we lost the set piece battle again, if we won the set piece battle, it'll be a different game. Then I'll see fucking one of the 5 players that they only bring out for the interviews now, probably Robertson, come out and go, we know it's bad. We want to improve. We need to improve. Yada, yada, yada. And then the next day, I'll see Van Dijk going, the fans deserve better. We need to improve. The standards must be high. We're going to go rest and recover and be ready for the next game. Yada, yada, yada. I can tell you verbatim what will happen for every game we play from now on. It's Groundhog Day. Just with a different fucking opposition team every time.
Did you guys see the Anfield Rap's take on Guehi? They don't want to sign him because of what he wrote on the rainbow armband, claiming it'll hurt the LGBT. They only get political when it suits them. I mean, look, I'll give a response to this. Look, I said I'm going to be peaceful in 2026. I said I'm not going to call out any channels by names. I said I'm going to have a very peaceful year on YouTube because I'm not trying to beef anyone anymore. I'm just trying to do my content and get by. I actually looked and saw like what Guehi wrote on the armband. He just left a beautiful message with his faith. He wrote Jesus' name on the armband. There's nothing wrong with that. So like it is what it is. I think when you're a club shill, you're a club shill. And at the end of the day, I think they're embracing themselves just in case, the Guehi thing happens and he moves to Manchester City. So now they've got their safety blanket off. Oh my God. If you wanted Marc Guehi, you're homophobic. So we already know the games. It's just boring at this point. So.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Enrique wants Barcelona. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. He wants a new challenge. Barcelona is not a new challenge. And don't forget, Enrique is a player that played for Madrid and Barca. So he's not like some La Masia, I love Barcelona type guy. This is not a Pep Guardiola scenario. So, yeah, regardless. Big up to you, Ed.
Been by Real Madrid.
Big up to everyone locked in. Please like and subscribe. So speaking of Marc Guehi, by the way, guys, I didn't put any timestamps because this show has been in elite. I don't think we need timestamps because we've kind of addressed everything in multiple different moments. With the Marc Guehi situation, Ram, we start with you since you don't speak unless I ask you. By the way, we're 5 likes away from 300, guys. Let's get there. With the whole Marc Guehi situation, Habibi, do you think he's gone to Manchester City? And / how do you feel about us signing a centre back in January?
Well, we need to sign a centre back. I've said this from the end of the transfer window when Guehi wasn't signed. We needed a centre back. We got only 2 fit centre backs. I don't even know if Joe Gomez is still fit at this moment in time.
He was on the bench against Fulham, so he's on his way back.
I mean, we put him in the bench previously, and he was still injured then, so we didn't play him. So
he came on against Fulham. I forgot. He came on for the throw-in that we conceded from because it never went in the fucking box.
Fez, at the end of the day, like we still needed to get a centre back, whether it be Guehi, whether it be Ordonez, whether it be any of those players. We needed a good centre back. With the whole Guehi stuff, have you seen the injuries that Manchester City have in defence, especially centre back? Is bad. They need a centre back ASAP because I think Kusunov is now their only fit centre back, which is crazy. I think once City have made the due diligence, have done the due diligence, made their offer, they're going to get him. They won't care about the money. They've got trillionaire owners at this point, like FFP. They're sorted with that. They will get Guehi, in my opinion. Am I a bit upset about it? Yes, because again, it's another homegrown player that I think we needed is no longer there anymore. But it's the quality of player. Look, I think that I've always maintained this. Guehi is a quality player, but there are other quality players out there at this moment in time. And I'm not going to be too upset if we don't get Guehi specifically. There are other good players out that we can get that can do as good as well as Guehi, in my opinion. So I'm not going to be too upset by it.
I don't think they get him. I think if they bid, we bid, and I think that ultimately, if he's not short-sighted, he probably picks us because he doesn't start for City when everyone's fit.
Listen,
next season he wouldn't start.
Know.
I would
think
question.
they're getting rid of a lot of their centre backs apparently next season, from what I read.
But so for me, I look at Man City's starting defence that I think Pep would pick is Diaz and Gvardiol. They're the starting two centre backs he'd pick. I don't think Guehi gets in ahead of either of them.
I mean,
but I think at times they play Guardiola, but I think at times they play. I think Diaz. They're saying he might move on. I think they won't go on anyway.
They've got two left backs now, though, haven't they? They've got Ait Nouri. He's just been injured, and Nico O'Reilly.
Yeah,
I don't think you're attacking this from the right angle, Tom. Because right now, on January 6th of 2026, if you are a top player and it is a decision between Liverpool and another major club. Any other major club is a more attractive situation. Maybe not long term, but let's be honest. Football, as an asset perspective, it's not a long term game. If Marc Guehi is smart, you need to look after yourself. And ultimately, like at the end of the day, the sure thing is the sure thing. And right now, Manchester City are in a better position than Liverpool. He will get his money taken care of. That's not an issue. I don't think even if Pep Guardiola leaves, you're still leaving behind an incredible team. You have an amazing team at Manchester City. It makes more sense
about us.
Absolutely not, because right now we are being operated under gross negligence. The board has done so much damage to this football club.
But you were talking about what is the okay? So that. But the
I'm just saying that today.
No. But the point that you made there, the point that you made there was in the summer. If Pep Guardiola goes, they're going to get a new manager in Yaya. It can be the exact same for us. It's just
100%
in the immediate term.
In
the immediate term, we look a bit. In the immediate term, we look a bit worse off. But I don't think Marc Guehi's going to make his next career decision based on 6 months.
I'm just saying.
And also, there is news. I'll be honest. I don't believe Marc Guehi is gone to City this January. I think he will stay at Crystal Palace till the summer.
I don't think he moves. this January.
Yeah, I think he'll stay at Palace.
He might not move.
I think if Steve Parish sees money,
I will tell you guys something right now. I think if City make like a legitimate bid for Guehi, we're gonna go in for a bid.
Okay, but that still doesn't mean that Guehi is going to say yes to us. At the end of the day, the player still has to accept it.
But Mike, if Steve Parish sees that money, he's going to take it. Like at this point, you've got a player that's on 6 months and you've got money.
He won't go Ram because there's two different battles going on at Crystal Palace. Steve Parish is desperate to try and convince and keep Glasgow around. Nearly fucking lost him when he let him go in the summer. Let him go in January when he is probably their most important piece to a Conference League title charge, which they're after. Because if you look at that Conference League, it's wank. Palace
and they've not done well in the Conference League with him in there.
Oh my God. Who gives a fuck about the group stage? Who gives a fuck about the group stage? They'll give a shit when it gets to the knockout stage, won't they? In the same way PSG didn't give a fuck about the group stage last year. They were on to win the whole fucking thing because they had a good team that turned up in the knockout stages. So, Crystal Palace will want to keep Marc Guehi around for that first European season where they can go on and win that tournament because their best competition is like a fucking... I didn't even know who's in it. Shamrock Rovers was in their fucking group. If that's like the level of competition in that tournament, then Palace stand a very good chance of winning that tournament.
It's the same random teams that you saw last season.
So Palace stand a very good chance of winning that tournament. They're going to want to keep him around. If they've got any chance of keeping Glasgow around, they need to try and keep the captain for the 6 months. For them, Crystal Palace have already planned on him going for free the moment they didn't sell him in the summer. The moment he didn't go in the summer, Palace will have budgeted for him going on a free. So this is not them losing money. They'd have a bit more money, but they would also have to try and find a replacement for him, which is why the move didn't happen in the summer. And they're definitely not going to find a replacement for him in January when the market's much more inflated. And teams know they're in desperate need. So for me, it's going to be a case of he's most likely going to stay at Crystal Palace. I don't think he's going to angle for a move because he's free in 6 months' time. He's going to stay at Crystal Palace as the captain, see out this season, see if he can win a Conference League. And in the summer, he'll have the options to pick what he wants. That's the way I see it going. And if it gets to the summer, it's a bit more risky because then, yes, inviting in the foreign teams. But I think that's the way it's going to go. And we just have to back ourselves in the fact that all the groundwork we've done for 12 months and the new manager coming in can convince him that we're the right place to be.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
It all depends on the manager that comes in. I actually don't know who you lot want in after slot. So for me, it's very dependent.
Regardless of but Tom, regardless of the manager, even if you sign a player, they're an asset to the club. Like regardless of what manager you have in your team, they're still, if they're of the quality, the next manager who's going to have them, they're going to get a quality player.
No, but I meant the player will make his decision on the manager that comes in potentially.
Oh,
if we bring in a very exciting manager to work with, maybe that swings things for Guehi ahead of other clubs. So, like for me, there's 3-4 names on the shortlist at this point.
But then, by that logic, would you say that he's already made his decision with City because of the chance of working with Pep?
How does he know Pep's going to be there next season?
Yeah, that's another reason that drives me to think that Guehi might not join City as well, is because basically
no one knows if Pep's there next year.
Yeah, big up
listen, even if he doesn't go anywhere this January, Liverpool still need bodies. Like, I mean, it's like on one hand, we don't have any center backs. I don't have a single controlling midfielder. I don't have any quality winger options. But also, I've already spent £500 million. Everything gets worse every single week. There's nothing to build on. It's a lose-lose. Like, if I do buy a new player, I know that Arne Slot isn't going to change the way that he plays. And I fully believe that there is no player that can improve us to a point where it would become acceptable. Because again, acceptability is a major trophy. Like, anything other than a major trophy this season is an unacceptable outcome based on what the summer was and what last season was. So that's not going to get me by buying anyone that's available. Bradley Barcola is not going to do that for you. Marc Guehi's not going to do that for you. Adam Wharton's not going to do that for you. So it's like, you know, we're stuck in a lose-lose. Like, that's why I said at the beginning of this stream, it's limbo, because there is nothing that's going to change the outcome of this. I mean, maybe results get a little bit better, right? Like, you know, maybe I don't draw to Sunderland. Maybe I don't draw to Leeds. But do I win the Champions League? Probably not. Do I win the Premier League? Fuck no. Am I going to win the FA Cup? Shit, I got to get through Barnsley first. So, you know, let's answer that when I'm further down the line. So, like, that's why I find it very difficult to talk about the transfers, because it's like, I know that there's assets that we need.
I don't think there's going to be any transfers this window.
Yeah, I'm that's where I'm leaning. Like, I don't think that we're going to get anyone. I don't think that the club is.
I don't think there'll be any sales either. I don't think Hughes is going to go. I don't think there's going to be any sales.
No.
Tom, do you agree with this? We're buying 0 players. Also, do you know this for a fact?
I don't know for a fact. I know there's like the list of players.
Tom knows for a fact. He's got insiders in the club.
No, there's a list of There's a list of players that did jump on and try and get if they became available for a decent price, but right now I don't think they're planning on making.
How about the Rennes centre back? Because I've been hearing about him for a long time.
He will be available in the summer, not now.
I don't think that's going to be one that happens now. I think that's going to be one that happens in the summer if it's going to happen again. I think I think the summer it's going to be another very big summer for us because of different reasons. I think that the Guehi stuff, any transfer stuff that people are talking about, you're going to have to wait until the summer and to see who comes through the door. Because the manager's philosophy, should we say, in style, will decide a lot of that.
He's not going to use anyone we buy in January anyway. Not going to use anyone. He's going to, if we buy a center back, Virgil and Konate are going to start every fucking game in the Prem and the Champs. If we buy a winger, Cody Gakpo's not losing his spot to anyone alive. If we buy
a right winger, he may start.
Listen, the second Salah comes back, but we haven't done jack shit. You know the board's going to breathe down his neck and say, "You put him in the fucking team." And if we buy a central midfielder,
go back to blaming him again.
Listen, I was never one of those people. The only thing Mo has done wrong this season was his clinicalness in front of goal. Outside of that, everything else is blameless. It's only his clinicalness in front of goal, which was not up to par. But if you buy a midfielder, motherfucker, ain't no one starting over Mr. Wheelchair himself, Alexis McAllister. No one's getting ahead of Ryan Gravenberch because he's Dutch. And Dominic Szoboszlai is the modern day Steven Gerrard, I've heard. So that guy's definitely not coming off the pitch. So, like, you ain't fucking playing him. This guy wants a small squad. He says every week, I love me a small squad. Even though I'm going to sit here and I'm going to complain after the game, I don't have the proper players available. You know, I have to play what I have. But also, I love a small squad. The guy's a fucking walking contradiction. He's literally a fucking paradox incarnate. So It doesn't matter if you buy anybody. He ain't fucking playing. If Bradley Barcola comes here, you think he wants to play second fiddle to the 6'4" Dutchman who couldn't hit the broadside of a fucking barn? And Bradley Barcola is going to be just as much of what Cody Gakpo is.
Hold on. He's going to
cut in down the byline. That's all.
Just on Gakpo, right? Because I wanted to ask, because I asked it on, I think you guys had the Avengers stream yesterday for Sam and Tom. Tom, Gakpo, did you say you'd let Gakpo leave? You said that. You had let him go.
I only heard Tom had a 20-minute run.
Yeah, I did. It was very cathartic, that one. My stance with Gakpo is that I'm open to selling him because I don't know if a manager's going to use him correctly.
Look at this guy.
Right. So how would you use Gakpo correctly?
You'd be lucky to get 50 million for him.
You used Gakpo correctly in the way we used him last year, which was putting him at the back post. No, he started a lot of games last year, but you put him at the back post and let other people do the creating part of it, and had him.
So him do the Salah. So him do the Salah job, the old school Salah job where you had Bobby and Mane creating.
He has to be the last guy to touch the ball. He has to be the last guy.
Mike said it better than me. So last year, a lot of Gakpo's things where the ball would go on the right hand side, there'd be a cross or there'd be a delivery in, and he reads the game better than fullback sometimes. He gets in ahead, he scores the goal. He gets in ahead, he lays the pass, whatever. I don't like him, what he's got at the minute, where he stands out wide, sizes up the fullback, tries to run inside and then shoot into a man.
He's the facilitator right now.
But he's a guy...
His best role last year was being, for lack of a better term, the finisher. He finished off the attacks more often than not.
He's a guy that relies a lot on space. He relies a lot on space. Like if he, the one thing that you also said, the one thing that you said that Tom, that he said that whenever we play down that right hand side, the whole opposition team shifts to the right. He got so much space around him that he could do. He has so much time to think and do what he wants to do. Either get a shot away or cross, because most times or not, is not going to get blocked because he just has so much space around him. That's one thing that you get the best out of him, which you can't do now because he's going to be isolated 1v1 with a defender.
I saw a stat the other day.
Every time I do a Liverpool show, I get even more depressed after doing this show.
You know what? Listen, sometimes you just gotta smile. You gotta smile.
Yeah, but I chose you guys. You know, maybe we will be a little bit more therapeutic, but there's no therapy.
What's going to be therapeutic, bro? What's going to do that's therapeutic?
But there's a very specific stat that I want to share, and this stat is accurate, unlike some of K-Max. Cody Gakpo, right now, as it stands in the top 5 clubs in Europe, Cody Gakpo is in the 90th percentile for progressive passes received. He has been the focal point this season. But the difference is that
it shouldn't be.
But here's the thing: if you look at where he is receiving these passes, he's receiving the progressive passes to then become the facilitator of the attack. He is not receiving these passes, as Tom says, to be the finisher of these attacks. That is the problem. The problem is not Cody Gakpo as a player. The problem is that you were trying to utilize him to be step 1 when he should be step 4 or 5.
He's trying to make Gakpo Salah of last season.
Exactly. And even when Salah's on the pitch, because when Salah was here, guess what? Everyone would be sitting here saying Salah's ghosting. But, you know, much like a lot of people on YouTube, they don't look at the bigger fucking picture and think about the fact that we went 80% of the game down the other side of the pitch. So, you know, if the ball is 60 yards from Salah, he's going to ghost. It's just a fact.
And to answer Jerry's point, the reason why I say I'd essentially move on is because of that's how I see his best role. And I look at the managers that I would want us to bring in. I don't think any of them are going to accommodate that role in their setup. If they're not going to accommodate that role, there is very little point in having him here. I love the idea of him as a finisher because I think he's got a unique height. His height advantage is something that I find very unique on fullbacks. Because if you put the cross in, he's going to win them when he decides he wants to jump. Most of the time, then you can work off
Tom, that.
Nah. He decides to jump in
fullback. He's right. He's got a unique profile. He's got a unique profile.
But he doesn't use that profile, does he?
He doesn't use that profile. He uses it against fullbacks. Put him against a centre-back or a DM, he won't jump. But against a fullback, he'll jump. When you use him in the way we used him, there was a 10-game run last season where Diaz was the false 9, and he'd sort of drift out in behind at points. And you'd almost have 2 on the left, no one in the middle, and Salah on the right. And Szoboszlai would make this run on the right to drag one of the centre-backs away because there's no one in the middle. And Salah would be isolated one-on-one. Diaz would run towards the penalty spot, towards the front post. And Gakpo would be one-on-one with the full-back at the back post. And you could float the cross in, and he'd head it down most of the time. It'd either go in the goal, or it'd go across, and we'd either score or miss. I can name multiple games where that happened, but we haven't done that this year because we've inverted where we want to play the game, and now Gakpo is the one putting the cross in, but he can't cross as well. So when I look at the manager I wanted, does Cesc Fabregas have one of his wingers as a finisher? No. Does Xabi Alonso have one of his wingers as a finisher? No. Does Enrique have one of his wingers as a finisher? No. So I look at that and I go, does Nagelsmann do it as well? No, Nagelsmann doesn't do it. Nagelsmann barely plays with wingers at points. So I look at all that and I go,
plays with 3 cams.
Nagelsmann plays with a lot of systems. I like how much right he's got. But the point is, none of them play with a role that we had Gakpo in last year, which got the best out of him. So if one of them comes in, there's very little point in having Gakpo here then, because we're not going to use him in the role that gets the most out of him, and he needs to go to a club that will accommodate him in that sense. And we need to go by a winger or a wide forward or a wide attacking midfielder, whichever one you want.
Yeah, but that's my thing, Tom. And this is the thing. First of all, big up to Ice T, who says, I don't think we are going to buy anyone. FSG are too focused on the sale of the Pittsburgh Penguins right now to worry about us. That's why Michael Edwards is here, because he's the CEO. That's why Richard Hughes is here. He's head of football operations. So I don't think it's necessarily like, unless it's a massive check that John W. Henry has to like sign, basically. Like I think some business we might be able to do. Specifically, watch out for this whole Guehi drama. I don't know what the hell happens with it, but guys, we're 15 likes away from 350 likes. Let's make that our target. My thing is, Tom, like with this whole narrative regarding the system and the style. JJ mentioned this and Mike mentioned this like an hour ago about the style and the system. If that's the case, just play to those. Either play to the players that you got strengths, or show me that this is the style that you want to play, despite my disagreement with you, by playing the correct profile in there. Like if you went played Rio Ngumoha left wing, and you played Frimpong right back, and you did the shit. If you did the shit that the successful teams that do the style do, and it like didn't work out, fairs. But at this moment in time, we're not even doing that.
Hassam, I know. That's why I'm out on the manager, because he's not doing either. There are 2 ways to manage: manage or coach. He's not doing either of them very well, or at all for the most part. So again, we're now looking at it going, I want him out. I've named the 4 coaches that I'd like and that I'd be happy to see come in through the door. But none of them play a style, because they are all more system oriented. They're good man managers, but they all have their very intrinsic ideas on how they want to play the game. None of their intrinsic ideas involve 6'4" Cody Gakpo on the left wing. None of them do. So if that's the case, there's no point in him being here on the money that he's on to just be what? The 70th minute sub who's got a bit of height so he comes on up front and just looks very uncomfortable. That's where I'm at with it. Like the managers I want don't accommodate him. I can't think of any managers that do really accommodate him as well. I'll be honest. I can't think of any managers that play with a wide forward as the goal scorer in modern football. And Gakpo's shown very little ability to transition into being a striker very well, especially in the Premier League. It might work in foreign leagues, but in the Premier League, he doesn't like the physical battles, so he can't play up front. So we're in a tough spot with it.
Have you guys seen the new links of a potential loan move for Lionel Messi and Darwin Núñez? Pretty strong.
On that note, guys, I'm gonna wrap up the stream here. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys so much for joining us. I'd rather stab my balls with a knife than watch Darwin Núñez play a football club.
Would you take Ivan Toney?
Brother,
at least Darwin would press. That's all I'm going to say.
I realized
at least Darwin would press.
You're just
Darwin's better than Isak. Darwin had a better impact than Isak.
On Isak's first 4 months,
what are you going to say?
Darwin had a better impact than Isak.
No, he didn't.
Darwin Núñez first 4 months.
Darwin Núñez was part of the well-coached teams, and he still sucked. So the answer to the question
he just sucked at finish.
If Alexander Isak was part of the team with Klopp's last year, where we were very strong offensively. By the way, that year, Darwin Núñez had 27 big chances missed and 11 goals. Anyway, guys, love you all.
Hassam, what are you gonna say?
How many touches did fucking Isak have in his games? How about that? How about that? Yeah. So
You know,
let's be real.
No,
I don't think Jurgen Klopp can get.
Is this what we're really
Isak
doing?
couldn't even touch the ball.
Is this
Isak
what
I
we're
don't
couldn't
really
think
even get
Isak.
to the ball.
Put it this way, I
this
just
what
don't
we're
think.
really
I don't think
doing?
Jurgen
Oh
Klopp.
my
I don't think
days.
Jurgen Klopp even gets Isak though. I think
That's
Isak
not
don't
that.
press.
Now you've changed.
Isak don't press.
Yeah, he
that's
gets
what I'm saying.
Ekitike. He'll get
You've
Ekitike.
changed the
Yeah,
argument.
about that.
Ekitike,
No, but
100%.
Ekitike
The
can't. You
question
don't.
is not
You don't
who
press,
presses and who doesn't. The question is who would have been more successful. And if we had a solid system and style, Isak would have definitely been
All
more
right,
successful.
all right. This is a question. Do you think Darwin Núñez would have done better if we had kept Darwin Núñez? Do you think he would have done better than Isak this season?
No, I don't. No, I don't. Because
I think
Darwin
he would have.
Núñez. No, I don't think he would have. Because Darwin Núñez looked like
We ain't
shit in
creating
the
any
good
chances
system. He would have
anymore.
looked like crap in the bad system 100%.
He would have,
Anyway.
but you see, you talk about individual. He would just individually just press someone and just lay it off for someone to score.
Yeah, he would. He would. He
No,
would
no,
press someone.
No. We say that
He'd
press someone.
One-on-one.
No, he'd
So-
press someone. He'd go to lay it off, and we don't have anyone there because the rest of the team is so deep because the man's just scared of attacking. So he wouldn't be better. You could put any striker up front, it wouldn't matter because we don't play them correctly. The man can't.
I'll be honest. I'll be honest. Just to make everyone's life easier, just for future questions, hell will freeze before I say something positive with Darwin Núñez because Al Hilal fans want him gone. Al Hilal, just so everyone knows, I'll say this because I've got to go do.
I thought he's cooking.
Al Hilal. Oh, really? He's cooking. He ain't even Al Hilal top goal scorer. Forget Saudi League top goal scorer. Just for the people who don't know, Al Hilal are the Man City of the Saudi League.
I thought it was Al Ittihad.
This guy can't cook against the Saudi League players. That in itself shows me that we made the right decision. And I
How
stick
many
by
goals
what
has
I
he
said,
got? Let me see.
pound for pound, the worst player in Liverpool history. On that note, guys.
Okay, that's a bit much.
No, that's not a bit much. I said pound for pound, so that includes
Now, pound for
expectations.
pound, he's probably right. Yeah, he's probably
Yeah,
right.
don't start saying shit like Paul Konchesky. No one had expectations of Paul Konchesky, dumbass. Anyway, see you guys over on MHF. That's where I'm headed. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. All the links are in the description. Love you all, and yeah, see you guys over on MHF. Let me check if I've even done the redirect.
Down with
Jerry
slot.
just unnecessarily
Down with
tried to
slot.
trigger me at the end, but I evade the press. Yalla, see you guys. Peace.